All right, shifting our focus to the United Kingdom, where a political storm has erupted in the country after Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner has resigned amid a mounting tax scandal. Rayner, who is Prime Minister Keir Starmer's number 2 and also the Housing Secretary, has now stepped down after admitting that she underpaid stamp duty on purchase of a flat in Hove. Valued at £800,000, she had skipped stamp duty of £40,000 on this purchase. Rayner also used £160,000 from a trust set up for her specially abled son and then falsely classified her flat in South England as a primary residence when in reality it was her second residence. She initially claimed legal advice absolved her, but investigators and her legal team say otherwise. The case against Rayner says that she actually removed her name from the deeds of a separate property in her constituency, meaning that the new apartment is the only property she owns. Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who had refused to sack Rayner despite the clamour against her, has now written to her saying, and I quote here, "You will remain a major figure in our party." Prime Minister Starmer backed his deputy in Parliament on Wednesday, saying that he was proud to sit alongside her. Starmer faced perhaps tough questions about when he knew of the error. Her departure opens the door to a high-stakes cabinet reshuffle and a scramble for her successor. The move perhaps is now being seen as a blow to Labour's efforts to restore public trust and a warning that no political star is immune to scrutiny. UK Chancellor Rachel Reeves to stay in the post despite wider government reshuffle. And well, for more on this, Ollie Barrett is now joining us live from London. Hi, Ollie. What's the latest? How has the UK Prime Minister reacted? And also talk to us about the reshuffle at the top with Rayner's resignation.
Well, the UK Prime Minister's reaction is to say that he is sad to see Angela Rayner's career, for now at least, at the top of government end in this way. But he also says that he thinks she was right to resign when his ethics advisor came back with his findings, having investigated Angela Rayner's affairs and suggesting that she did indeed breach the so-called ministerial code. At that point, it was inevitable that Angela Rayner would have to go. If she hadn't resigned, Keir Starmer would absolutely have had to sack her at that point. Now, the opposition Conservatives say that Angela Rayner has finally gone from government. They say that Keir Starmer should have had more backbone and should have sacked her himself. It does, though, mean that the reshuffle that Keir Starmer is currently carrying out is significantly wider than it would otherwise have been. We were being told by government sources that the reshuffle could happen probably next week, but that it would probably be limited to junior governmental posts. Well, that has changed, partly because of Angela Rayner's departure. There is at least one big seat at the cabinet table that needs to be filled. We are hearing there may be some really major moves afoot, such as rumours that Yvette Cooper is going to be moved from the Home Secretary position, perhaps ending up in the Foreign Secretary position. That would mean, if it were true, that David Lammy would be leaving that major post in the UK government. This is a big blow to Labour as a government, the credibility of the Keir Starmer administration. It also means that Keir Starmer is deprived of a useful figure in Angela Rayner, who was considered to help him speak to parts of the electorate that he couldn't reach, but also speak to parts of the Labour Party that perhaps he found difficult to reach as well. This was a week in which Keir Starmer said his government was moving into phase 2, which was going to be all about delivery and showing the electorate that they are tackling the big issues and problems and challenges of the day. Well, phase 2 has eventually been overshadowed by the demise of Angela Rayner in terms of her positions in government and her position as the deputy leader of the Labour Party, and given her leader, Keir Starmer, a major political headache.
Right, Ollie. Thanks for getting us the latest from London.